Good afternoon and welcome to, finally, another edition of Live 605. Yes, we're back to the old times. In a manner of speaking, of course. You're watching us here on Facebook Live and, of course, through the regular channels on YouTube. And believe it or not, we're also streaming on Twitter. Twitter has done a backflip. A lot of these social platforms are doing backflips. I did a backflip as well. I decided to remove the beard, and now I feel naked before you. I feel naked after you as well. Anyway, I've got to live with this. If you're joining us for the very first time, put new down below so as I can identify you. Identification is important. We have the signifier and the sign, and it's very important. Names are important. Signifiers are important as well. A big cheerio to those of you that are watching from the United States of America. Leon, lovely to see you. Yes, Leon, I decided to remove the beard. It got the better of me, and now I can say I'm Shave the Man once again. I kind of got used to it, but then it started to irritate me a little bit. So, yeah, I sort of just did this, and I don't know. Anyway. You can let me know what you think. I'm sure you will. It's a personal opinion, I guess, and we're all entitled to those. If you have an opinion, I would like to hear it this afternoon on this Live 605. It's a Q&A. That's because today's been my first day in store dealing with people and customers. We had lovely customers come through and say hello, which was delightful. I really... even though it was done behind a mask, it's always a pleasure to see people. And so we've had sort of a semblance of normality return into our lives. Let us know if your life is normal, or if it has returned to normality, or if it's, I don't know. It is what it is. Today we're going to be talking about a number of things, and I will explain what this Flux thing is all about. Dave James, welcome back to the norm-ish. Yes, Dave. It's been a while. It's been a while, but we're here, and that's the important thing. Thanks for joining us on the live. Steve, hi Steve, how you going? Nice to see you again at this a little more civilized hour, I would imagine, for you. It was a little bit difficult doing things at 3 o'clock, but nonetheless, it's one of those things. Leon, thank you. It does look better. Look, it feels better. Feels better. Feels a bit tender, actually. Feels a bit tender. I had to give it some tender loving care. And in fact, today I shaved with a brand new feather razor. Boy, oh boy. That really, I took my time. If I hadn't have taken my time, it may have been a bloodbath. Stuthy, good evening. Nice to see you on the live. Again, we've returned back to the 605 format. I hope it suits people. It means that you're no longer watching the national news here in Australia, which is usually... No. I'm in Melbourne, no such thing as normal. No, Leon, I know. I just hope that things improve for our Victorian brothers and sisters and friends and family members. It's just been horrific. And I think the people of Victoria have been through a lot, too much, in fact. In fact, what I'm going to be talking about today, briefly, might have something to do with maybe Victorians can relate to what it is that we're going to talk about. Nonetheless, lovely to see you on the live. Con, how are you? Lovely to see you on the live, sir. You're joining us through YouTube, no doubt. I can see that. In fact, it may be that today's live was inspired by Con for Steris, and so we will I'll explain a little bit more as the live proceeds. So, as I say, let us know if you're new to this. Put new down below. As I said, we're streaming live through Shave the Man, through the Stray Whisker TV, through through Twitter and through Facebook. Look, I'm spreading myself thin. I'm a mile wide and an inch deep. Not really. You do you, Steve? With bandana and all. I saw Steve this afternoon looking very dapper, and he will be smelling dapper too, no doubt, in due course. It was lovely to see you in the flesh, Steve, and thank you for joining us on the live. Graham, Unnormal New Norm, and good evening, Dapper Jen. Thank you, sir. Nice to have you join us on the live, Graham. It was lovely speaking with you. This is like we're having a great big conversation. It's like déjà vu. I've had these conversations earlier. Connor, Mr. Beard, I'm happy you've shaved the dome, though. Yes, the dome. The dome, I don't know. Look, who was I fooling? It was only about 5 hairs up there. Who was I trying to fool? Get rid of it. If you're thinning out, gentlemen, if you're in a position where you are losing your hair, you're experiencing what they call male pattern baldness or alopecia, get rid of it. Just shave it. Don't try and drag things out. And don't get into comb-overs if you can avoid them. Please do not get into that. Just shave it. Doesn't matter. You look great. You look great. I'm beating people off with a stick. They're coming in, oh my God, look at you, they say. The dome shall always be shaved. That was the thing that I didn't really like. Yeah, I thought, I don't know, it's kind of, I felt like an imposter, Steve. I felt like I wasn't really myself. I felt like I was just, I don't know. Anyway, I understand the appeal of the beard. I do get it, and it felt quite good, and it was all, but I sort of have a one that's in its infancy again. The cycle continues, round and round and round. Now, I thought I should get rid of it. I was getting some remarks. I was asking my Greek friends were asking me to bless them because Greek Orthodox priests have beards. Others thought that I was in a witness protection program. They'd asked me what I had done for my sins and said, listen, man, are you hiding? What are you running away from? What are you running away from? Others thought that I was trying to be Sean Connery and all the rest of it. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you. This afternoon is a Q&A. You can ask all sorts of questions. Hi, Sophia. Lovely. Oh, my God. Now, there's a barber. If you're ever down south coast, Wollongong way, you've got in the Illawarra district. There you go. That'll make it a little more broader. Go and see Sophia. She's at Razor Gang Barbers. Great, one of the best barbers in town. She used to cut my hair. She didn't really, but every time I'd see her, my hair would fall out. And then come back again and say, cut it again, please. No, I'm only joking. I'm being silly. You can tell I'm being silly, and there's a reason for it, and that reason has a name. And that's what we're going to talk about today briefly before we get into the Q&A. You may have heard of this term thrown around called COVID flux syndrome. This is a thing now. It's not the COVID thing. I don't want to talk about COVID, right? We've all been a part of it in some way or another, and tragically, people have succumbed to this horrific disease. But what I want to talk about is this flux syndrome. There's a phenomenon, and this is the data bears out in this, and there's a number of studies that have been done, where people are anxious about coming out into the world after this lockdown. In other words, I want to get out of here. I'm sick of Netflix. I'm sick of watching TV and doing the same stuff over and over again. It's boring. It's this and that. I want to get back into life. I want to go to the pub. I want to get back into having drinks with my friends. I want to get into parties. I want to dress up again and get out of my tracksuit pants and do all the things. I want to shave my beard and get out there and do all the things that I want to do. And then I kind of don't. Have you experienced this? Have you experienced this flux syndrome? Have you gone from one position to the other? Have you said to yourself, you know what? That's it. I'm sick of this lockdown. I want to get out there and I want to do stuff. And then when it comes to doing stuff or leaving the house or leaving your tracksuit pants or whatever comes first, please leave your tracksuit pants as you leave the house before you enter into the world. We can only bear one form of trauma. We don't need another. And then you think, you know what? I don't really want to go to Coles or Woolies or anything. I don't want to go shopping. I don't really want to do this. I kind of want to see my friends. I miss them. Oh, I miss you. No, I'm not really missing you. I mean, I'm kind of doing okay. What is that? Have you experienced this COVID flux syndrome. I mean, they've given it a name. It's a syndrome. Have you felt like leaving the house and saying, no, that's it, I've had enough, I want things to go back to normal, whatever that is, and only to be met with this sort of reluctance, this resistance? You're feeling something inside saying, you know what, yeah, maybe Netflix ain't that bad. Maybe I don't really want to go back to the office if you work in an office environment, or into a shop if you're in retail or whatever. I was kind of getting used to living like this. Sophia, 100%, all about the hermit life, work, 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 and then home to bed for me. Yeah. What is it, Sophia? What is it? I mean, so many people, oh, I'm over this lockdown. I get it. I'm over it. We're all over it. But we're over it, but it's kind of a conditional sort of over it. I want things to be normal because I want us all to be normal, and I don't want people to suffer. And I know that there are very real issues here, which I'm not downplaying in any way, shape or form. The first and foremost is mental health. I mean, that's primary. But then when it comes time to sort of enter the world again, have we, I'm wondering, become agoraphobes? Are we becoming agoraphobic? Not that we don't like people, but we've become so accustomed to living in our pants, literally. By the way, I'm in more than, and I've always worn more than just a shirt and a jacket. I've always kind of dressed even from the hips down, in case you're wondering, you sick people, you. Yeah, you know who you are. You know who you are. Matt, I have to agree with you. I've been rather happy and comfortable in lockdown myself. So do you feel this, yes, no, I want to get back into it, I want to do things, I want the new normal? But what is the new normal? I don't know. But what has happened and what I've experienced myself, it's being told to stay home that we're sick of, I think. Yes, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Once you're told to stay home, that's when you become sick of it all. I've had a number of people that have reached out to me, customers, people that are wanting to get into shaving for the very first time, and they're saying, listen, I've had problems with my skin, I've had whatever, blah, blah, blah. I want to get into this shaving. And I'm thinking, hang on, you've been in lockdown. Now, surely lockdown means letting it all hang out, like not really caring about your appearance, not really worrying about all these things. I'm wondering what is going on there when people have now wanted to shave in a traditional way. Is it because we've had a lot of time on our hands and we've had to think about these things? Because, yeah, I want to look really good. I want to enter the world which is no longer normal. I don't know. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I mean, this is something that it's quite perplexing, really. Life is tiring. I think we forget about how much the rest has maybe done us some good, yes. We have maybe lost our life fitness and life is hugely exhausting. Sophia, are you okay? No, that was it 2 weeks ago? Are you okay? I agree with you. It is exhausting. It is exhausting. And I'm wondering why these people have, and some of them I know have reached out to me and said, listen, I want to get into this traditional way of shaving now that I've been at home alone or, haven't left the house much. I want to start doing stuff for myself. There is another interesting phenomenon that's occurred, and this is a number of studies that have been conducted, and they're all in psych journals and also some scientific journals, Nature principally, where they have found that when you give someone a lot of time, in other words, okay, you're in lockdown, you've got a lot of time to do lots of stuff, people don't do stuff. They just kind of do nothing. How many people's to-be read list, in your nightstand next to your bed is grown and is groaning under the weight of these books that you were supposed to have read under lockdown but never got around to reading any of them? What is it? We have all this time and yet we can't or don't or perhaps aren't willing to do the things that we were hoping we would do. So when you're working, people say, oh, have you done this? Have you read that? Have you seen this? No, I don't have the time. Well, now you've got time. Why aren't we doing that? I'm guilty as charged myself. I found that the more time I'm given, the more time it takes for me to do things, to motivate myself. So there is definitely something psychological going on there. Please share your thoughts. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Yes, too Too many haircuts. Yes. Lockdown has been great for finding time to try new product, techniques, etc. People should have made use of that time. Yes, absolutely, man. Look, and I suspect now that things are sort of opening up in this part of the world, and I'm speaking principally of New South Wales and Australia at large, people will say, oh, yeah, I should have done this, should have done that. We just don't do it. It's human nature. It's like, I have a theory. This is my hypothesis, and I'd like to have you add your 2 cents worth as well if you could. I think that there's a resistance to doing things when you've got that much time, in case you kind of get stuck in that rut and you actually might enjoy it or something. God forbid I read Anna Karenina. I might then read all the Russians, or if I turn on a particular series on Netflix, if I watch the first 2 episodes, I'm going to be hooked. And I watch them all. And then what? Then I won't be me anymore. I'll be something else. I'll be someone else. This is that flux thing that they're talking about. Sort of going in and out of that, falling in and out of that. Oh, yeah, I want to get out. I'm sick of this. I want to get out and see my mates, whatever, go out and have a few beers, do this or that. Until I don't. Are you suffering from this? Let me know. I'd like to know. Leon, it is finding the new normal. Nostalgia isn't what it used to be. True. This new normal, even that new normal, the term new normal, throws up a number of questions. Why do we aspire for norm? I mean, what is it? Normality anyway. Anyway, we don't want to get that philosophical. All we're saying is, what are the things that perhaps you have thought the things that you thought you were going to do during lockdown but never got round to, and because you were too busy and you're saying, no, I want to get out of here. I'm sick of being at home. I have surgically implanted the couch to my backside and I'm not leaving here. And then when the doors open, you think, no, I'll just take my time. Option anxiety. Yes, it is. And at a restaurant and given the menu with hundreds of dishes on it. That's right. Especially when the dishes are numbered. I'll have dish 98, please. It is. It might even be analysis paralysis, or I don't know. I've been so unproductive during lockdown. Motivation of zero. What is that? I know. Look, if we have any people on here that are musicians, this is something that it's quite interesting. And I can't remember where I read it. It might have been Wired magazine or Eon. It was one of these. See, that's the thing now. I'm getting all these publications on my iPad, and not, because I'm not going to newsagents and buying these magazines. I'm reading them electronically, where they were saying that musicians, people that love to perform and write music, you would have thought, I mean, apart from the loss of income, which has been enormous in the arts and performing arts industries, they've copped an enormous assault with this lockdown. And you talk to them, they say, yeah, I want to get back into gigs and I want to perform and all that sort of stuff. And so you say, what else you'd like to do? Oh, I love writing music. Well, you've got all the time in the world now. And they found that musicians, people that write music, not just perform it, couldn't write. They could perform, they could do a Zoom performance, for example, or they could get into a live like this, and they could play a banjo or a ukulele. Cameron, if you're there, I'm thinking of you. He is there. Choice paralysis. Hi, Cameron. Right? This is the thing. So how much music did you write? Not you, Cameron, I'm just saying. You may have, I don't know, practiced your scales, performed, done things on Zoom, pushed out a lot of the stuff that you're really good at. Some Australian artists, Jimmy Barr, all these people that have been performing and been putting on these performances, if you were to ask them, how much have you, has that creative spirit been there? And you'll find, I believe, and according to this study, that the answer will be a resounding no. Why? Because creativity comes from those interactions with people. You need that social discourse and interaction, and then to be able to retreat from that perhaps and create in your own time. But when you're at home and only in your own time, the creative juices perhaps don't flow. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Sophia, look at you. Hey, did all the things It's wonderful to do all the things I've never had time or energy to do. Exercise include. Have you been exercising, Sophia? Wow. Runs along the beach, I'm sure there you would have had. So what are we doing here? Let's see. Who have we got? Who have we got here? Right. John. Hi, John. What's lockdown? Sorry. Hashtag smug Queenslander. Wow. That's a low blow, John. Low blow. Low blow. Maybe your lockdown is coming. Not that I want it to. I'm sure Anastasia is on top of that. I've been at work. The whole thing. Yeah, see, there is that too. But have you been working from home, Katrina? This is the thing. So back to this creative thing. So musicians or songwriters, people that write music, have those creative juices been flowing while you've been at home in lockdown? That's what I'd like to know. Can't say because I've been doing my day. Yes, Cameron. And your day job is very important, and I know this for a fact. Well, you perform, and I know you write your own music. Have your creative juices been flowing, so to speak? It's only the creative juices we're interested in, Cameron. Matt, people who crave structure and routine have struggled. Yes. They have struggled. This has been a battle for the mind has been where all this battle has occurred. And of course, there's very real physiological effects of this, but it's interesting. So have you experienced this flux? What has this got to do with this particular live and all the rest of it? Well, as I was saying earlier, and I get sidetracked so easily. I get excited about these things. A number of people contacted me and said, listen, I want to get into shaving and I want to try something new, and lockdown was a great time to try it, even though looking great is only something that I really want to do for myself. And if I'm going to make a mess of my face, at least I have a few months in which for it to heal. If I'm going to turn my cheeks into hamburger mince, for example, or my legs into, I don't know, then during lockdown is probably the best time to do this. I thought, okay, no, that's fair. Who else have we got here? Steve Carter. Con, it's given me a sense of community. Sarah and I have been supporting as many local breweries. Supporting those who haven't had much government help. You've been supporting breweries, Stephen. You know, this has got to stay PG. Bloody breweries. That's very magnanimous of you to be supporting these breweries. I too would support breweries. We have a local one up here. I must go and visit. Yes, I don't know why Queensland has evaded that particular border, but I'm glad they have. We don't want people being put into lockdown and changing their routine so much that others have to suffer, and you just have sporting events and whatever else you're having on happen up there. Right, Q&A. Do we have Q&A? Here we got a comment from Eric. Hello, Eric. Nice to see you on the live. It's helped me appreciate the freedom of liberty we've had in America. Unfortunately, we're never getting... Yeah. Yes, I don't think I suspect you may be right there, Eric. I don't know. I really don't understand where this is all going. No one knows, I guess, and only a fool would try and predict where all of this is going and how it will eventuate. Some level of creative uses as usual, okay. Quite anxious about performing again, though. Feeling pretty rusty. But I saw you do a live the other day. Was it a live? I saw a video of you. You weren't that rusty. Same level of creative juices. Okay, so there you go. If you're a creative, have your juices been flowing? If they haven't, why? Are you anxious about getting back into the world, apart from Queensland or WA or whoever else has managed to evade this and miss this altogether? Can you please ban Steve Carter? Every weekend he floods my messenger with photos of beers. Does he, Dave? It's now starting to. He's kind of slid into the lives with beers as well. Now, good on you, Steve. I would do the same, I suppose. Sophia might even do the same. She had access to breweries and things, and so would Cameron. I know Cameron loves a beer. Right. Well, that's all I really wanted to say. If there are any questions, like what zodiac are you, Con, and what's your blood group, or why? Yes, put that up. Let's see what this. Light after dark. Hi, Con. What do you think about? Okay, a question. Right. So let's attack the first part of the Castle Forbes. I think Castle Forbes' performance, for me, was outstanding. Right. The scents tend to polarize because they use really high quality essential oils mostly. In fact, I had the pleasure, I believe it was about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe Eric was there too, at one of the Big Shave West, to meet the gentleman whose family runs and lives at Castle Forbes. And the first thing I remember when I opened the Castle Forbes was, wow. I mean, it really hits you bang smack between the eyes. So the scents are quite forward. They're very, very strong and robust. As for 1445, I have not sampled that, I'm afraid. But the performance, very good. You only need a small amount. Look, it's not everyone's cup of tea. The product, from memory, to me, was very, it was quite pearlescent and almost gelatinous. But this is why you only needed a small amount. It kind of looked like it was sweating fragrance. It was incredible. As I said, performance, very, very good. Once you dial it in, I mean, it's an outstanding product. As for the scent, I cannot really comment on it. And well, I hear it is, mother. Well, thank you, Light After Dark. I wish I knew who you were, but that's it. But all I know is that you're on YouTube, and that's enough for me. Right. Leon, I think, had a question there. Oh, no, maybe Eric. We got Eric there. Can you remind me of the significant attribute? Okay. Can you remind me what the significant attribute of your alum block is? You mentioned in a previous live, I believe it has the marble aesthetics and specific. Yes. So basically with alum, okay, a lot of people say alum is alum. It is not. Alum generally is reconstituted. Happen to have some here. So if you pick up an alum block and it feels like it kind of has that sandpapery, rough texture to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, I don't know how well this will come out in the, if you can see that. Hang on, if I just get out of the way. Now, if you can see that, it kind of has a marbling kind of effect. I don't know if you can see that. It looks a little bit like marble, right? In other words, it is a natural stone that's polished, right? Some of the material that comes off that can then be gathered and put into molds, cylindrical molds, and they use them usually for deodorants and things like that. This here is because no two crystals are the same. They have a particular shape. It just looks like it looks a little bit like marble. And so this means that what you're getting here is pure alum, not alum that has been brought together with some binding agent. Usually that binding agent is water and something else, which we don't know. But generally speaking, when you're looking for alum, just try and find alum that hasn't got that rough sort of texture to it. Now, I know people will say, oh, it'll become rough when you use it. Yes, but I also recommend that when you use your alum, just make sure that you have it sitting like so, or just have it standing on end. Try and minimize the amount of contact with the surface, because as the water comes off it, it will deposit crystals in the bottom of the container. As for the effects, they're well known. It's an astringent. It tightens the skin, does not close the pores. Please do not make that mistake of causing saying that it closes pores. It is an antiseptic, and it assists in some way, but not completely, in congealing blood as a styptic. It is not a styptic, though. Styptic is something totally different, but it assists in that in as much as it actually tightens the skin, and that of course would mean that the microabrasion or the cut would obviously be impacted due to the tightening of the skin. So it's antibacterial, and it's great for people that use it as a pre-shave if they use an electric shaver. So if I'm using an electric shaver, which I rarely do, like rarely, like never, I don't use an electric shaver. But if I were to use an electric shaver, what I would do is I'd use a bit of alum, wet my head or face, whatever, use that, pat it dry, and then have at it with the electric shaver. The hairs will stand on end. Why? Because of the astringent qualities of the alum. And then you'll find that you'll be able to get an even closer shave. In terms of post-shave, the effects are well known. Must you use it? No, it's not essential. I used it today, for example. I just because I hadn't used it for some time, because I hadn't shaved for some time. And I could feel where I was a little bit tender or perhaps a little bit rough with the razor. Okay. Stephen, Con, when you're finished with the alum block, how do you dry store it? Mine got thin in the middle and broke into two. Yes. I had one that broke into two, or actually kind of looked like it was dissolving in the middle. And I've still got that piece, and what I use it for, I always have it open, and I just use it to dry my hands, because it's another good thing is that I actually run my fingers over the whatever is left of the alum, and just to make sure that the razor doesn't slip and slide in my fingers. What I do is I try and even a soap dish is not quite enough. You've got to try and minimize the amount of see, in this one here, for example, I just rest it across there like that. Just rest it. So it's not, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, just rest it along there. If that's the alum, just rest it along there. Minimize the amount of surfaces that it comes into contact with. Please don't put it on a bench top or on Caesar stone or anything like that, because if you do, don't do it. Just don't do it. If you can't do any of that, just have it stand on the least amount of surface area, and that's it. It will smooth out over time. And that's it. I'm very, very careful. This one that I've had has just sort of worn away. Actually, what I might do, I might bring one in. I'll bring my alum in and show you what it looks like completely worn out. But I don't do anything in particular to it. I don't dry it or use a hairdryer or anything like that. Just let it air dry. I hope that helps. Watch out, you'll end up with 2,000 pieces when you drop them. Yes. And then you can reconstitute it again. Now, with restock, I'm getting a couple of questions here. There's a few questions on restocking. Don't restock Washcloth blades. What happened with Washcloth blades? Our distributor / supplier of Washcloth blades changed company. I had to then reacquaint myself in Russian with the new dude, and he is a dude. You'll ask him, when can you get the money to me? Give me the money, and I will get the Russian blades to you. Yeah. Is that problem? Something like that, okay? I've got a horrible Russian accent, but they're very good blades. They're very, very good blades. They want you to buy a pallet, and we've tried to organise our own freight. They won't allow that. They have to leave the port of Vladivostok, no less, and it's a rort. But we'll try and get them again soon, because I love them. The Washcloths are very, very good. They're a Teflon-coated blade, and they're very good. And the prices vary wildly with them. I know there is a Bulgarian grey market that's going. Listen, if I'm not here next week, you'll know why. Too many secrets. Letting the cat out of the bag, aren't I? Yeah. There's a grey market, and you've got to be careful when you buy these. Why you'd want to produce fake Washcloth, they're even producing fake Astras, mind you, is beyond me. But it does happen. Can I recommend a similar product? I'll be needing some new blades soon. Yes, a similar product. I shall speak to you off air, because I don't want to wear concrete shoes and end up in the bottom of Cook's River. Yeah, it's a river here in New South Wales. Right. Shipping. One thing with shipping. Okay. So things are finally moving. There were 60 ships or thereabouts off the coast of Long Beach in California. There was a standstill. This is why food prices and everything's going up in the United States. Freight is a nightmare at the moment. And because it's a nightmare at the moment, it's an opportunity for freight companies to say, you want it or don't you? And I think I mentioned this a couple of lives ago. Larger corporations are chartering, they will charter their own liner and bring containers over. I think IKEA is one of those companies, and that's all I'm willing to mention in terms of companies. They charter their own freight because it has become ridiculous. The other thing is, someone sneezes at a dock, the dock goes into lockdown. The people that work in there, for obvious reasons, don't want to be put at danger. The company then has to outsource to other freight companies. Then there's a strike because why are you outsourcing our work? Then this and that. And all I wanted was just my blades or my PAA cube or whatever it is. The companies in the States, the artisans will send the product and you'll just watch it go to the Bermuda Triangle. It might go to the Bahamas. Hey, it's even known to have gone to Madagascar. Someone's parcel ended up in Madagascar. Look, it's atrocious. It's a nightmare. Things are settling down now. They're certainly settling down here. This country wasn't allowing as many flights. They're now coming in. A lot of this stuff comes in through air freight. So the question, when are you getting fill in the gap? When are you getting fill in the gap? Two things that you're either asking me to do, one or two things. You're either asking me to lie to you and say, oh, I'm getting it next week. I won't do that. It's tedious. It's terrible. We've had things sit in the same country in a warehouse 3 or 4 miles, yes, I use the word miles, so you know what country I'm referring to, away from where the person that sent them, not their fault, they've sent the product, and it's just sitting there. And so, well, we can't get on a flight. The cargo manifests are prioritised based on what products they need, yada, 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 and all the rest of it. It's COVID, and that's that. And there's also expense. I've said, sure, I can bring you PAA CAD. Do you want to pay $49 for it? No. Computer says no. Right. And if all that wasn't enough, USPS is not shipping to Australia at the moment. But there will be more flights. And from those more flights, well, obviously there'll be an influx again, and we'll be able to live like human beings again. We'll all have our soaps again. Look, I know that sounds a bit, I'm not being facetious. I'm just telling you what it is. Most people that are in business, and you don't even have to be in business, there are certain things you'll go to a supermarket that you found are no longer there. There are certain brands of ketchup or whatever. It's not there. It's not there because they can't get them. And if a company really, really wants them, they have to make the decision, a commercial decision, and say, do we really want this product in our store? Yes, let's do whatever we can, move heaven and earth and all the rest of it to get this product to us. Is that economically viable? Does it make business sense? No. Then we won't do it. The other thing is, apart from all of that stuff, then you've got customs, all that stuff. Anyway, that's got nothing to do. It's really got nothing to do with viewers and customers. The customer doesn't care. I understand that. I understand. I'm a customer as well too. In many of it, they don't care. They just want their product, and I understand that. But and it's kind of, see, this is the thing. Okay, so I was back to that thing. So when you're bringing in this product, well, I either have to say it'll be here in 3 weeks. No, it won't. It won't be here in 3 weeks. It won't be here in 3 weeks. The other thing is, quite often when you purchase that, we're not on account. We have to put that money down. They have to send that product, and it has to sit there for 4 months. I can take your money for 4 months. Are you willing to give it to me for 4 months without product? Niente, no, nada, nothing. Get that product, I'll buy. I know you will. I know you will, Matt. Look, Matt, when I was saying all of this, I wasn't really specifically thinking about you, but I kind of was. I know, Matt, I get it. But I just don't want to sit here and just say things that I really don't know the answer to. And currently enjoying the soap base. Okay, so the soap bases that we actually have access to, I mean, I'm enjoying A&E, I'm enjoying PAA. PAA is great. I've used, believe it or not, I still enjoy Katie's Bubbles, what I have of Katie's Bubbles. See, all this stuff, these mammoth soaps and these, I don't know these products. I don't know. We've been cut off from the rest of the world here in Australia. And unless you're willing to participate in cartel activities to get the product here, then it would be less than honest if I was to mention that. I'm enjoying Oaken. I think Oaken has done some interesting things, and they're about to do some very interesting things soon. There'll be something coming from Oaken, because Oaken's just up the road. It's not far from us. Oaken is a different issue because it's only in Indonesia. Yeah, sorry I can't be more give you a more in-depth answer there, Eric. Who have we got here? Anthony. We've got Anthony Di Giovanni. Unions have a strong hold on the West Coast. Yes. Yeah. And that in turn has a knock-on effect. They strike, etc. Okay. So there it is. So don't think, is it just me, or is, why is that? No, this is something that you couldn't make this stuff up. You wouldn't read about it unless someone wrote it. It's boring. I can't do much about it. Anyway, the short answer is I will try and bring in the products when they become available. Freight prices, okay, so freight goes up. Does it come down? Depends. If there's no demand, if demand drops off, then they'll have to lower their price. At the moment, they're charging, and I said this, anywhere from 5.3 to up to 10 times more than what they used to charge just for freight, for all those reasons mentioned before. Unions, COVID, lockdowns, not being able to get through things, lack of supply. There's people that can't get raw materials. There's people that can't get packaging. There are certain nations that are playing certain economic games at the moment. I really do have a death wish, don't I? I'm not going to mention the names of those countries, but that's it. It's that complicated, and I don't really want to get into it because it's kind of boring as well. And I think I've bored you enough. But I love you all. Thank you for spending some time with us. I really appreciate it. Sorry if I couldn't get to you. Now the what was that movie? Is it Now Here Comes? Now that I've got to go, I've got all these questions. Thank you so much. I'll try and get to your questions next. Join us in the next live, okay? Just join us in the next live. That's it. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you again soon.